Well, there's no one way of financing a film. There are many ways, but generally, the components of financing a film could be one, tax incentives. A tax incentive is something where you agree to shoot in a specific territory or country. For instance, Italy right now has a 40% tax credit. That means if I take a $5 million budget over there, I put people to work, the agreement between me and the film office there is that once I'm finished filming, they're going to give me 40% of that budget back. That's called soft monies, right? That's an incentive right there. But I have to find the rest of the money up front. So how do I do that? Well, if I know that tax incentive is coming, I can leverage that through financiers who will fund that up front and then receive the tax incentive at the end for a fee. There's private equity. We can go to specific film financiers and ask for monies up front, saying we have access to these tax incentives. Private investors. If you're working for a studio, you don't have to worry about any of that. They generally have budgets for their movies. And so most of that is how it's kind of cobbled together. A lot of producers starting out who get into the mid-range will gather a certain amount of private equity from investors we then borrow money on top of that to make up the budget, knowing full well that the tax incentives will take care of that in the end. You're then trying to package the film for a sales agent and distributor in order to make more money on top of that. So they're the most common ways of putting together a film budget. A lot of them are contingent on, putting the right talent in, shooting it in the state that you agree to get the tax incentive from, obviously. They can be a great way to cobble all of that money together and selling the tax incentive. You can if you're getting a $2 million tax incentive, you can sell it. There are brokers out there and people who will buy your tax incentive for money up front. So there are many and varied ways, and the timeline could be anywhere from 6 to 12 months or even shorter if you come across the right people. But generally, if you can get investors back their money that they give you, the more likely they're going to continue investing with you. But generally that's the way to do it. And as I said, it comes on top of producing a movie, not writing a movie. You don't have to think about any of that as a writer, but again, looking at lucrative places that have tax credits and what their caps are is something that it wouldn't hurt a writer to do.